Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Keith Thurman Media Conference Call. Your host for today, Ray Flores, will now begin.
Thank you very much, operator. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much to the media calling in from wherever you are around the world. We are just over a week and a half away from an amazing night of boxing, July 20th at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. It is PBC on Fox Sports pay-per-view, all starting at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific time. On the marquee, the main event of the evening, headline the 8th-division world champion, Senator Manny Pac Man Pacquiao, taking on the WBA welterweight world champion, Kieth, one-time Thurman, in the main event. This is the biggest event of the summer for boxing. It is can't miss. Tickets for this event, they are scarce tickets and limited tickets available. And the event is promoted by MP Promotions, Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions. They're on sale now, going very fast. You can get them online, AXS.com, charged by phone 866-740-7711, or in person at any MGM Resorts International box office. Make sure you get your tickets now or order it on Fox Sports pay-per-view.
Our next question is going to come from Keith Idec from theboxingscene.com. Please go ahead.
Yes, Keith, do you feel that too much has been made about what happened in the 7th round of your fight against Josesito Lopez, or do you understand that?
Say that one more time. What was that?
Do you feel that too much has been made about the difficulty you had in the 7th round against Josesito Lopez, or do you understand why people are pointing to that as, from your last fight?
Hey, man, you talk about what you see, right? When Keith Thurman first hit HBO, I remember talking to Max Kellerman backstage and said, Max, what did you think about the performance? He said, well, yeah, you did good, Keith, but what happens the day you get hit? And I thought to myself, like, Max, you want to fucking hit me and find out? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know Keith Thurman. You don't know what I did at the age of 15. You don't know the road that I've been on. But I said, okay, respect. All that you know is, there was a dude named Victor Ortiz at the time, and he got beat up, and he almost cried on national TV. But Keith Thurman ain't a punk, and I'll show you one day. You know what I'm saying? So now you ask him the same question, what you think about Keith Thurman, he ain't going to say, well, Keith Thurman can't take a punch, because they seen me take a punch, It's okay. You got to talk about what you see. If you see somebody look weak, they look weak. If you see somebody look flawed, they look flawed. If you see somebody look unconditioned, they're unconditioned. You have to report what you see, and I got caught. I was in danger. I remember after I got caught, and then I got caught again. And then if I got caught again, I got caught again. I got hit with 3 big shots that round. And I said, damn it. I said, you better put your hands up. You better move your feet, because only you know you're okay right now. The whole world thinks you about to be knocked the fuck out, boy. The whole world thinks you about to be knocked the fuck out. Let's get out this round, and let's show them what kind of champion you really are. So it ain't about too much talk, not enough talk. It is what it is. It probably was one of my most vulnerable rounds to my career to date. A lot of fighters would not be able to get out of the round in the way that I did. And to me, it's just evidence of how great I truly am. Because greatness, they have a saying in boxing. It's not about when you get knocked down. It's about what you do when you get back up. But I don't even let you put me down. So it is what it is, man. It's just boxing. It's just another black eye. It's just a sport, baby. I'm not afraid to let it go. If you can beat me, beat me. Josesito Lopez had it right there in front of his eyes. He couldn't close the deal. He couldn't close it.
Keith, was that the most trouble you've ever been in, even in sparring or anything in that round?
Man, probably not. I was scared as fuck against freaking Jeff Lacey sparring him, and eventually he had to tell me, we can't spar no more because you hit too hard and I'm a grown man, I want to knock you out, and you're 16 years old, I don't want to have that on my conscience, so you can no longer be my sparring partner because you just do too much, and I want to knock you out, and you're a kid. I don't want to knock a kid out. So we had to stop sparring, and I knew he could knock me out. I wouldn't let him, but if he actually connect, you don't got to let people knock you out. They knock you out, So at the end of the day, I really respected Jeff Left Hook Lacey for sitting me down and having that conversation and explaining to me why we will never share the ring ever again.
Okay. Kieth, now that you have the 12 rounds behind you, your first fight in 22 months, how much better do you expect to be in this fight now that you have that behind you, and how will you be better in this fight because of that?
Well, I try to explain to you guys from the beginning of the year when the Josesito Lopez fight happened, all of 2019 is just Keith Thurman getting back. This is still just a get-back year, But at least I'm staying busy, and I'm taking the momentum from one training camp into the next training camp. I hired 2 strength and conditioning coaches, and I'm just really dedicated, and I'm taking this serious because, to be great requires great effort. We all know that Floyd Mayweather wasn't, one of the best ever because he was able to eat McDonald's and make weight. Is because he was running a lot of miles. He was doing standing sit-ups. He was boxing his ass off and eating McDonald's and making weight, okay? That's what Floyd was doing, So to be great, it takes great effort. I'm applying myself in a better fashion, and I believe that it should show in the fight. I should have a better performance.
Let me tell you. Leonard?
Yeah, no, I was just going to touch on it. I think with Keith showing some vulnerability in that last fight, I think that this is definitely going to help him in this fight because anytime that you show something like that, then the whole mindset of people, because he might have been, in most people's eyes, as the boogeyman, in the division, per se. But when he showed that he got caught and he was able to come back the way he did, it showed true heart of a champion. The same thing happened when Floyd got caught with Shane Mosley. Not that those are similar situations, but it just showed we saw a different kind of Keith. And I think he'll use that as momentum coming into the Manny fight and have a lot more confidence to, like he said, to be more alert, to be aware. It's just the little things like that help you grow as a fighter and make you a better fighter. And because that's one of the things that me and Floyd had this discussion when he got caught with the big shot from Shane. It's showing how you're going to respond back. And he came back and he fought like a dog. He walked him down, and Keith has that same kind of mentality.
Thank you, Leonard. Keith, I just have one last question for you. When we were in New York for the press conference, you said that you probably weren't in as good of condition for that fight as you have been for previous fights. How much better shape do you feel that you're in for this fight than you were for the Lopez fight?
Just far better. I really, people think I'm playing. I really trained myself at night at LA Fitness on a spin bike. That was my conditioning for the Josesito Lopez fight. No disrespect to Josesito Lopez. I just knew that I can't recall the last time a flat-footed fighter, Spanish fighter, beat Keith Thurman. I can't recall it in my amateur days. The last 2 amateurs that beat me was Charles Hatley and Demetrius Andrade. They were not flat-footed Latino fighters. Styles makes fights, and I knew I could rely on my boxing IQ to be victorious in the fight. And the 7th round proved to me it was a little bit of a gamble. We got out of it, and if I want to look better than that, I should train harder, and that's what we're doing.
Our next question is going to come from Carlos Toro from Fightful. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Keith, and thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. I'm looking throughout the build-up to this fight and the PBC face-to-face and the face-offs you had with Manny and the press conferences. I'm noticing that you're having a lot of fun. You're enjoying the promotion of this fight. Does it feel good, just being back in the group, preparing for fights, being in this type of environment instead of having long rehabs for injuries and surgeries that you've had for the last couple of years?
Definitely, man. I mean, I'm living out my dream. This is my passion. And, I didn't do a lot of interviews. I didn't do a lot of talk in my inactivity because I like to talk positive. I like to talk action, As being an inactive fighter, to me, there's not a lot to talk about. What am I going to talk about? My struggle? What am I going to talk about? My depression, my sadness? What am I going to talk about? So at the end of the day, I'm really, really happy to be back in the sport. It's a beautiful opportunity. It's a dream come true, and I'm just back living my dream. So, I love the sport of boxing, and, I want to have fun. This is my job. When you go to work, you should enjoy yourself, If you don't enjoy your job, you should get a new job. I love my job, and so, you think it's your entertainment. This is my fucking entertainment.
Yeah, not only that, the welterweight division, this is a great time for the 147-pound division. It's very loaded at the top with you, Manny, Spence, Crawford, Porter. Do you view this fight as the one that does show who the best welterweight in the world is, or do you feel like that's something that needs to be decided with more fights among that group of five that I mentioned down the road?
Don't know, don't care. It's not my job. It's your job to report opinionated things, okay? At the end of the day, I'm living a dream. I'm happy. We're making money. We're making history in a sport that I've always wanted to make history in. All I want to do is leave my mark so that when I walk out from here, I can hold my head up high, All I want is for one day, 20 years from now, when people talk boxing, they'll argue this, they'll argue that, but there's going to be one dude who said, who I really like? Man, I like that kid Kieth one-time Thurman. That's my ultimate goal, man, to just be amongst the names, to be a great, to be amongst the names so that there's some fan who will never forget what I've done.